that record button as we
Let's get it.
let's get it as we start off a new campaign, the world of Theros. Um, yeah, we'll be doing these probably once a month. I'm thinking. Some of you, if you stepped away, I was saying probably around almost 3 hours every time. We'll probably have that 30 minutes because we're gonna all shoot the shit. Probably have a 15-minute break in the middle so everybody can do their thing and get your little smoke on, whatever it is, like we normally do. And we'll usually probably end around 10, 15 at the latest. Hopefully tonight we'll probably end a little early. I always say that, but I think we will because I didn't plan a whole lot for you. I literally planned like 1, 2 scenes tops. So I'm gonna give you guys really a chance to get to know these characters. And yeah, okay. Any questions before I get started? Let's go off with the cold open. No, everybody okay? Let me just make sure I have my notes here. I will need those. All right. Okay. Let me change the music. You should be able to hear that softly playing in the background. If it gets too loud, just let me know.
Oh.
Okay.
Lagonna. Pronounce it.
L-A. We'll say it again.
Lagonna. Lagonna.
Lagonna.
I mean, yeah, and it's the two different.
Pronounce it how you wish.
The different centaur herds, wherever they come from. There's two of them. I know. Okay. I was reading.
And what I expect you guys to do, your homework is to, like, if you have you have access to Theros' book, just read a little bit about your race. Read a little bit about, like, go to the chapters, because most of the book you can read except for like where it says like how to build adventures. Don't read that. That's for me. But like anything else you can read, and don't read the monsters. Like, don't read the monsters, just don't ruin it. But read everything else, because if you read a little bit at a time, I've been doing the same thing. Like, I've just been absorbing the world and really getting to understand it. Because a lot of people think it's just Greek mythology. So if I know Hades and I know Zeus, it's like, it's not though. It's like they took a lot of them and they changed things around. So and if you guys all know, it's basically a world that was created from the Magic the Gathering card. So that's why great to have Sammy here, because he's getting us back into Magic. Got my thank you from my deck of Theros cards. So yeah, it's really cool, and I really do. I think you guys will love the world. The more you dive into it, it's kind of fantastic. So with that, let's go ahead and begin. I'm gonna ask you guys to do something a little weird tonight. I am going to ask you to close your eyes for a while, and I will, as I narrate this, I'll tell you when to open them, but I want you to close your eyes, breathe, and be still. Allow your mind to drift with me into the darkness that you see. Let that darkness settle. And as it does, you should be able to begin to see little specks of light, like stars. Maybe you start to see the colors, like dark colors separating, swirling like pools of purple. Now realize that you are in a space made up of the night sky. Colors mixing like a late sunset or an early sunrise. There is no land here, just sky. This is the Nyx. The Nyx is the dream-like substance that it is the dream-like substance that makes nothing everything. The world of the beings that the mortals call the world of the gods. You see, as you look at those stars around you, as they begin to connect, then you might even see the powerful silhouette of one of those gods in that space. Now open your eyes. Open your eyes and look into the Nyx. Now, as you are in this space. Allow your view to drift down from the sky onto the hovering body of water below. You can see great land mass floating out beyond. This is Theros. Theros possesses a unique metaphysical property. Things believed and dreamed here eventually become real. The collective unconscious of the mortal people has the literal power of creation. And though the process unfolds over the course of countless centuries, thus the gods of Theros and their servants were believed and dreamed and narrated into existence, materializing and becoming fully real as the result of the immortals' belief in their power. As stories told, sacrifices made, and devotions given over the ages, the gods formed and gained lives, just as real mortals dreamed them into being. Does that mean that the gods of Theros are less powerful or any less divine than others? Not at all. Once a dream or a belief in Theros becomes reality, it is just as real as any other thing. And the gods have been real for a very, very long time. And so, now, as we push in over the waters, we see a boat, a vessel moving towards us. Drifting over the waters, the sky dark, a multitude of rocky crags, crag-like looming around you. You're close to the shoreline, to the coral reef, somewhere between Meletis and Asphodel. All of you have recently taken this shabby job. If this is a job you wouldn't take normally, you can explain in your own way or in your backstory, maybe why you're down on your luck or why you would take it. But whatever has happened, you have found yourself on a mercenary ship, being paid a few gold coins to travel with a few guards from Meletis. There have been sightings of pirates locally in the waters outside of where the military controls. And so they pay mercenaries to do this kind of basic dirty work, to report back what they see or to engage with villainous behavior that they may find. Now, all of you have just met each other on this journey and literally just traveling up and down the coast. You've only been doing it maybe a couple days now, and you only have maybe 8 hours left on your job. And soon you'll be rolling back into Meletis. Now, strangely, wherever you come from, you have never been inside the Meletis walls. You've never seen the great city that you have heard so much talk of. And so as we push in on that boat, there are a small crew of 4 guards who dress accordingly. They are not official. They are similar to the soldiers. They have golden ringlets that let you know their status, but they wear blue flowing capes, breastplates, armlets, bronze, and these bronze helmets. I forget what the crest on top. They are constantly rowing right now as their captain, whose name, who you've come to know as Othanis, is kind of standing out looking at the early night sky. It's early morning, and so the sun is maybe 30 minutes from breaking the horizon. So it's that nice, crisp, it's light, but it's still dark. What do we find you all doing here? And this has been mostly uneventful. And maybe you're just starting to get to know each other, but I will turn it over to you now, the players.
So you see Zunis, he's Teuton, he's a humanoid figure sitting on just a crate on the ship. And he's he's just kind of fouling off one of the arrows, just awaiting to make landfall from the boat as he kind of keeps to himself.
And Zior is he's a Leonin, hailing from Oreskos, and he is really looking off into the distance, and really kind of taking in the moment, feeling the wind going through his mane, and really just appreciating the sunset and the beauty of nature. But also at the same time, like, is a little uneasy because he's never been in a big city, and he's never been to a place where there is, such advances in technology, so to speak. So he's kind of fighting the duality of being at peace with the nature, having a little bit of angst, heading into a situation that he's never been in before.
And lastly, but not we have two others that are on the boat. Torin. Also, Ron, can you put your character's name? Do you know how to change your name on Zoom? You can. There's 3 little dots in your screen,
Yep.
and then you can put it next there. But we'll start with Torin. Let's hear who.
Torin, I am a Leonin paladin, and I don't really claim any land as my home. I've been a wanderer for many years, so I've since forgotten what it feels like to be to call one place my home. But I do long for the great plains of my youth, to return there and maybe once again reconnect with my roots. But as we travel on the boat, mainly I'm curious. I've never traveled to a city like Miletus before, but as we sit on the boat, I'm sharpening my blade and just looking forward to the new experiences that lay before us.
Awesome. And last but not least,
I still want to figure that out.
I can do it for you, Ron. Why don't you go ahead and introduce your character?
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
My name is Yagos, a centaur from the Laguna herds. Currently on my Protoporus, which is like a journey to get to know one's self. It's kind of compared to, anything about like Rumspringa in
no, tell me, explain.
Amish faiths.
Mm-hmm.
In the Amish faiths, it's a journey of discovery for oneself. So I'm literally trying to find myself in this life form.
Yeah.
Being a centaur, I've been in wars, come out victorious. We've done it all. So this is the next step in that journey. And getting paid is also a good thing. The spoils of the land, the adventure of the air and sea. I'm prepared.
Awesome. Well, that's wonderful that we've met them. I am excited to learn more about them and to watch them role play, which we will do over the next, hour, and find out more about them while they're on this boat in real time. Maybe exploring what they've talked about and just kind of getting to know them a little further. But before we go any further, I'd like to transition the kind of the camera fades and we cut away, and somewhere it seems like not a different environment, very similar, along the coast and under a dark morning sky, craggy rock all around. Maybe we pick up on a crab walking along the shore, and suddenly a foot crushes it, running. And as we kind of pull back, we see this dark black cloak running and stopping. It looks back, and when it looks towards us, we see it's wearing gray skin in this golden mask with a empty face, almost like a masquerade mask, but it looks like it's heavy. Looks like it's made of metal. Empty eye sockets hiding the eyes that might be behind it. And then it turns and just continues. This person, this humanoid, him, she, we don't know. And then we hear the galloping of horses behind them, closely behind, and whoever they are, they panic and they run outwards towards a craggy outcrop, almost like going out on the coral space, like out over the water, hoping maybe to find a cave or somewhere to hide. And as they do, they trip, and as whoever he is falls on their face. We don't get to see their face. Camera kind of goes over their back, and that mask tumbles across the ground, and they grab it, and as they try to put it back on, you can see that inside there are carvings all over it, strange runes that don't make sense, of different common. And remember, this is something that you guys as characters are not seeing, but as players are seeing in your mind's eye. The mask is hurriedly put back on. He looks out, and we push in on the mask, in through the eye, until we are enveloped by nothing but darkness. And with that, we will share our opening credits for Theros for the first time. Can you guys all see this? Yes, I can't see you all, but I hope that's a yeah. Okay, I see there. I see the thumbs up. Here we go. Sounds good? Okay.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose. Everybody we rollin', everybody we rollin'. With some light-skinned girls and some Kelly Rollins. In this white man world, we the ones chosen. So good night, cool world. I see you in the morning. I see you in the morning. This is way too much. I need a moment. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking. I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. Till then, that the world's ours.
Welcome to Theros, Season 1, Episode 1. This episode is titled, I actually forgot what I titled it, but we'll just call it Session 0 for now. No Silent Secret. All right, so I will go ahead and stop sharing that. And now we kind of pick back up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We are back on the ship. And you guys have done some basic descriptions of, who you are and stuff. But now I'd like to, as we set the scene, a couple minutes, and one of the guys is kind of rowing, looks back and looks over at Zior, and he's like, isn't it your turn? Shouldn't you be on one of these oars? I'm sick of this. I can't wait to get back to Militus. And this is a chance also to to get to also, I think when in your descriptions, I also want to know like what you look like a little bit more. Paint the picture of these characters for me. I'll turn it back over to you all.
Yeah, so Zior, like he looks over at the guy that's rowing, and he said, "Yeah, man, I'll step in, I'll take your place and row for a little bit." And Zior, he's about. Oh, sorry. Was there a response,
Oh
sir?
no, he just said thank you.
Oh.
He was actually a little taken off. He was actually a little caught off guard that a Leonin was like so nice, like, you know, in terms of the way you responded. So he just was like, he kind of was like, huh, oh, okay, well, thank you, and then just kind of walked away.
It's all about balance, good sir, and I'm here to be the balance. And essentially, so what Zior looks like, he's about 6'5", like standing up, and he's about 350 pounds. So he's a big dude. And he's got like your traditional kind of golden like coat, and with a pretty long mane. He's got a few dreadlocks in his mane naturally, and he's dressed like, you know, essentially like a commoner. You know, nothing too flashy. But he also, you know, he has like some straps around like his arms that were fashioned from, you know, leather from a heel. And so so he's very minimalist in his look.
Is he just a traditional? Because I imagine that some of the he's just kind of like an orangish color to his.
Yeah, so his mane is it's like dirty blonde almost. So there are hints of like kind of dark brown and even some black. And he's got a few, like I said, he's got a few locks kind of sprinkled in within his mane. And he's got like these pretty like piercing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They're like almost like orange kind of. You know, they're very distinct.
Very distinct.
Eyes.
Awesome. And by the way, you see two boats. There are not two ships. This is just, you know, this is not to scale. So this is the ship as it looks that you are in, but this is the ship to scale so that your miniatures can be on it. Just so that if anybody was kind of feeling confused by that. Okay, that's kind of awesome. And so he starts rowing. While he's rowing, is there anything else happening? What's everyone else doing? And remember, you guys, maybe you haven't talked much since you've been out here for 3 days, or maybe you kind of got to know each other. You can kind of retrofit maybe who you've taken a liking to. Maybe you don't even know who that is, but you know, you guys paint that. I know we haven't done this in a while, but we just kind of play with those creative juices and get creative with maybe what these characters know about each other, or continue to share what you think other characters might know about you. It doesn't have to be your full backstory, because I doubt most people tell that at the beginning, but I don't know.
So Torin immediately took a liking to Zior. He has been a little bit curious as to his background, just because, again, he's been kind of disconnected from his pride for some time. But he finds Zior's mannerisms very interesting, especially his lack of I guess natural aggression. You know, with that rower's comments, my mane started to prickle, but Zior, you know, very calmly responded, and you know, I just decided to kind of take a side seat to the conversation, as I don't necessarily want to make waves, no pun intended.
And you are a fighter, Torin?
I am a paladin.
Paladin, okay.
I am a paladin, but I'm probably more aggressive than your typical paladin. I have a very strict sense of justice, and I am about 7 foot tall.
Okay.
Also with with a mostly blonde mane, very piercing blue eyes. But over my left eye, you'll see a large scar that goes
Ooh.
down over the eyelid and down into my cheek.
Okay.
A scar from one of my many battles. Luckily, it didn't damage my sight. It's just you know, a memento for my travels.
Awesome.
And right now, I'm not dressed in my paladin's gear, but I do have a sword with me at all times that I
Awesome.
carry just in case.
Is it kind of like a gladius? I'm sorry. Long sword, or is it
it's less. It's more, because I am, you know, such a large individual. It's not a great sword, but it is a long sword, I would say.
Yeah.
That I kind of keep with me at all times and always sharpening. Some might call it a compulsion, but it helps me. It helps bring my mind to peace.
Okay. It's pretty awesome. I like his description. This will be your miniature that I'm holding up, for at least till we get something that fits that description a little bit better. I don't know if you knew, you probably heard me say, Sam, but if you have it equipped as it is now, that's fine. You can change it later. We'll keep it as is for this game. But paladins in this game will not start with heavy armor. They will start with breastplate. So breastplate and shield, just because heavy armor would be really hard to come by in this world. Because it's not, you know, it's a little bit more paladin heavy armor is a little bit more medieval, like chainmail and stuff like that. So I've been having everybody downgrade, even when they play paladin, to like breastplate and still have the shield, all the other whatever your normal weaponry is as well. So very cool. And also doing that just so that we continuously evoke the idea that this is essentially the Bronze Age. Okay. What do we see? So as that guy kind of made Torin kind of prickled his senses a little bit. Did we see him react? Did he like grab the hilt of his sword at all, or?
Torin growled very a very low manner, so it was not fully audible to all. But I think the rower kind of perceived the danger, just because my piercing stare caught his eye as he walked away.
Absolutely. So where would Yagos be right now? I imagine he stands out a bit, you know, strong and broad, being the only horse-bodied centaur on the ship. I think you might be muted, or yeah, you're muted, Ron.
He's at the front of the boat, anxiously looking ahead. Multicolored, dark, chocolate brown bottom half, and blending into a, I guess, golden flesh, standing approximately 6'10". He is the Coltera of his Giri, which is the individual different herds of the Lagos, because we are a hunter gatherer herd. We've been in many wars because of the herd migrations. He's looking into the future, wanting this glorious death that he knows comes at the sacrifice for family. He is one of the last Coltera, the last line of the last bloodline, the last pure bloodline of the first centaurs. They adore horns, which make them close to 8 feet tall. Only the bloodline carries this sign. All centaurs are normal, other than the ones that have that. My particular herd.
Got it.
So
they have horns that literally come out of their head.
absolutely.
Awesome. And as he's standing there, the captain of Thanos is kind of looking out, his blue, cloak billowing. He looks over at you. He can tell he's a dark-skinned man. Like if this was our world clearly of African descent. And has these kind of gold gauntlets on. He kind of snaps at one of the guys. Get back to it. Keep rowing. He has a bit of a goatee, but no mustache on the top, so just a bit of hair right on the bottom. And he looks over at you, Yagos, and well, we made it this far. It was a pretty uneventful trip. I'm sure you were looking to spill some blood.
Always ready to take up arms.
Yagos, right?
Yes, sir.
What god do you worship, Yagos? Or do you not? I understand. Not all of us give two shits about the gods. And he kind of spits off the side of the boat. I respect them, but I bow to none of them. Kind of looks off to the sky, making sure, almost hoping nobody heard it. Because you could tell, in this world, it's that for real. People, look over there, and he goes, well, at least Thassa has been kind, and so has Karanos. And what you understand is that Thassa she is the god of the sea. And maybe when you say Thassa, I imagine that maybe Zunis perks up. I don't know if he might say or do anything, but Karanos, is the god of... He's actually the god you see behind me. Just a ripped, dark dude who is the god of storms and is extremely unforgiving. Both Thassa and Karanos can be extremely unforgiving because they are the sea. And she's the sea, he is the storm. So you automatically know who he's talking about when he says that. He doesn't go into that whole backstory, but he says their names, and you know who they are. He starts to walk away from the front, starts to walk through. Well, only a few more hours, boys. We've done our jobs. I'm ready to get paid. He looks over at Zunis. You've been quiet. Said that whole thing about Thassa. I'm sure you probably are a worshiper. Maybe you're the reason we've had such luck?
Maybe. That sure as hell kept us fed. And as you see Zuna sitting on the crate, he kind of steps up and you see just near his legs some fish there. And when he stands up, Zunis is by far the shortest of the adventurers that are here. To 5'7", which makes his trident look much larger. And his trident, very old, almost rusted, has attached a string from the tip of the trident to the base, and that's what Zunis uses at the edge of the boat to catch fish. He has a rope attached to the arrow that he shoots into the water.
Nice.
He is dressed with just kind of leather garb with what appears to be kind of almost slightly bulked or plated in the shoulders, and just kind of loosely fitting around his lower half. But it's not very descriptive there, but his leather armor on his chest has sort of interestingly has slits on each side, 3 with chains attached to each end. And in those chains are little trinkets. You can't quite see it unless you're really staring at it. But a very different dressed humanoid figure that you see in front with and he looks like extremely pale. You can see some brown in the skin, but he looks very pale, like almost sickly to most individuals. And so yeah, he stands up and it's like, well, at least we'll be able to eat some of this before we get to the city, and perhaps I can sell the rest.
Oh yeah, buddy. And one of the guards, Legos, he's a bit older. He perks up. He's like, "Man, I'm so glad they brought you on this trip because I love the way you be catching. You just catch fish. Pass me one of those. Can we start cooking these up right now?
We got plenty. Just take one.
You could come on any trip that we run because that. Hey, I know what he is. You see those slits?" and he's just kind of like trying to call him out a little bit. Yeah. You one of those. I don't usually ain't seen them like you. Normally you have the long, the blue fin and the, more distinct features.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, you look more like like us, just regular humans. That's strange.
Well, I look like one, but we're very different.
You ever did it with a siren, huh?
I haven't heard good stories of that happening.
And you can tell that he is, he's the one on the ship that is just obnoxious. You've probably everybody tried to stay away from Legos and his ridiculousness.
Yeah, I'm kind of like giving him the fish as he's talking about, getting some siren booty, and I'm just trying to kind of shut him up. Kind of irritated.
Absolutely. Okay, so it's interesting. All these groups, and they're just kind of there. Maybe a little bit of time goes by. Maybe you guys have prepared some of the fish. You're able to have some of that in the morning with some stale bread that has kind of gone bad since the time you've been on the water. Maybe some dried rations. The fresh water is running thin, so you're all probably ready to get off of this moving boat. I don't know, especially the Leonins. I'm sure the sea isn't their first natural place to be. Does anybody want to share why they might have taken this job? If not, that's fine. I can continue to move on. But another question to ask. Have you been because I also have I'm sorry, that question, and I also want to know if anybody has shared. If they haven't, that's fine. But does anybody else worship any other gods or follow any of the gods, or even in this world you don't have to worship a god to have gods that you respect or gods that you're like those, I grew up knowing about these. So if so, let me know. If not, no worries.
So as a Leonin, I've got a very strong, cynicism, I guess you could call it, about the god. But as a cub growing up in my pride, I would always marvel at the grandeur and violence of storms that would come across the plains. So I have always, at least in private, and sometimes, it's come up in conversation, I wouldn't say that I worship Theranos, or however you pronounce that, but I do respect the god, and I know that he he has a no nonsense kind of approach to things, and he is also very wise. So those are all qualities that I do respect. And the reason I'm on this boat, frankly, is just because I'm down on my luck and I need some money.
Yeah.
No other reason than that.
And you were all promised for this 50 gold a piece. It's essentially a guard job, so it's not even really an adventure, but decent money just to sit on a boat, for 3 days. And so yeah, and then another reason I wondered is because you being a paladin. I know that paladins don't have to worship gods, so I wonder. And is he level 2 or level 3?
I'm level. I'm 1.
1.
Level
Okay, so he's 1. So he hasn't even chosen like a path yet. So that's okay. That's interesting. I like it. All right. Anyone else?
Yeah. So I so Zero worships the god Nylea, which is the goddess of the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And Zior hails from the Golden Field tribe, Odysseys, and yeah, I mean, he basically grew up in a culture which is very much so against the grain, of a pride that worshiped Nylea or had a very healthy respect for her. Do you want me to talk about?
No. I don't want anything more than what you want to share. I'm just trying to get enough to learn a little bit about these. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that you would wear on your sleeve that if I sat in a boat with you for 3 days, I should know, right? It's that kind of stuff. Like if he said anything about Nylea to anyone else, right? It's kind of interesting that you say that because being iconoclast, most of the lines don't respect the gods, and you're the second player. Is that somewhere in the book? Because you're the second player that has a respect for the goddess of the hunt. So that's also a Leonin.
No, that's interesting. Well, I think for me, like growing up as a cub in my pride, obviously, like Nylea, she was a part of our culture, and there's still certain like aspects of why, considering we are Leonin and typically like as a higher kind of like race, so to speak, we don't really worship gods, or we don't really see them as deities that we revere or really spend a lot of time trying to please and appease. And so I mean, like, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit more involved in what Nylea means to our pride. I think a lot of the ideals that I hold are very close to what Nylea, deems pleasing. And so I have like, if you can even have a tattoo as a Leonin, I have but I have on my arms, on both of my forearms, I have 2 arrows on both of my forearms. And then on my chest.
You probably has to constantly shave the fur in that area to show them because it probably grows out.
Exactly. But then on my chest, I also have little baby arrows for all of the archery contests that I've won since I've become of age, which is something that is pleasing to Nylea.
Awesome. Can I have a perception check from everyone?
Oh shit!
Here we go. Let's get it started, huh? Do you want us to like put it in the chat, or you want to?
No, just yell them out. Yep.
11 for me.
Okay. I'm bad at looking at chats because I'm usually focused on you guys and a million other things. So just tell me, 11. Okay, I'm hearing 11 so far is the highest.
Yeah, I got a 1. Natty one.
He's busy gutting those fish.
Yeah.
Zunis.
Soon as.
I rolled a
Torn.
5.
5, okay.
13.
13, okay. So I think it is Yagos who appropriately has just been looking, head on a swivel, standing towards the front. The sun is starting to rise, and you're only a couple of miles away from Meletis. When on the offshore, you see basically where you're at, if I had to describe it, is it's not the normal. There is this rocky area where there are literally huge. I don't know what you call them, overhangs of rock or archways of natural rock that you're literally just kind of floating through. And then there's jagged, almost like huge stalagmites, the way this coral reef has formed. So you're kind of floating through all of that. You see here, all of this land. This isn't really land. This isn't the shore. It's off the coast, and you're navigating your way along it. This is your job, because a lot of times pirates kind of hide in this area. And so it is Yagos who spots someone running through that reef-like area. As the ship is over here kind of floating by, you see this cloaked figure. And as I described that person before, definitely a humanoid, you catch the glimpse of the golden face, and whoever this person is, they continuously trip and stumble over themselves because of how difficult and broken the ground is. There are some ruins off to the left that almost, from a civilization long ago. Some people even say they might be ruins from Atlantis, that Heliod, the god, took his spear because he, for some reason, and destroyed them, sunk their entire civilization and dropped it to the bottom of the ocean. Some people say that these are remnants, these statues from that era, from that age, long lost. And so there you are, Yagos. You see the character running, and they seem to be panicking. What do you do?
Are we docked?
No, you're floating, and so this person is still running. They get over here to where they're climbed up on that section here as the ship is slowly moving, and you notice that right around here, they hide behind one of those pillars, and that is, as they're hiding, you can hear the scrambling of figures off to the right, and in the distance, as the sun is rising, you see the slow galloping of these figures, not very much like what you see this character looking like. Two of them on horseback, galloping. Three of them. One in the center and two horses on the side. And as they gallop up over the ridge, almost in a grand, slow motion style, totally Zack Snyder influenced. And as they're riding, you see that they're wearing the gold mask too. Now, as those figures ride up, they get into the murky, the rocky area, and so they jump off of their horses, leaving their horses behind, and they start to scramble. You can tell that they are in hot pursuit of whoever this figure is. There's one of them for those two. And you get the feeling that they're coming from, I don't know what you do. Now at this point, Yago saw that. I asked him how he responded. Didn't say much, but now everyone is clearly seeing this. The captain kind of looks off and goes, "Ready?" The men kind of prepare, grab their spears, and they look. Those don't look. And then the captain, returned. And he kind of looks like clearly whoever they're chasing is another returned. They're the undead. Let them be. I'm not going to waste my men fighting them. These guys.
Well, Zunis gets his bow kind of ready. Kind of kicks it up with his foot, and turns his trident around and just kind of waits to see if anyone makes any kind of move.
So they kind of, one of them spots him, one right here, and takes a shot, and it slams. They don't shoot at you, they shoot at that figure, and it slams into the wall. And at that moment, the figure looks and sees the boat and just starts running in slow motion to and leaps off the side towards the boat, and as he lands, boom, it rolls across you hear, as he lands across and rolls across the deck, he lifts himself up, and you see an arrow sticking out of his back, and then boom, 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 3 more hit him in the back, and then the figure, you see a bit of black blood drip through the front of the mask, and where the eye sockets are in the mask, there's a smoky black smoke coming out, and then it drops down and seems to be dead.
Oh shit.
Ow.
Looking at you, the figures are look and go they want the, and they I imagine that they clearly think that you are what do you call it, protecting this figure, and so one of them takes a short bow and fires at one of the guards on the boat. That will hit the guard. One of the guys gets caught. It's actually Legos, the guy who was and he's was about to take his first bite of fish.
Oh no!
goes right through his throat and goes down. Roll for initiative.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Poor guy, man.
That's the only way we could get Legos to shut up, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Fucking short bow to the throat. Golly.
I got a 15.
All right. Let me go to my. So I'll go down the list how I normally. I do this with D&D Beyond. So when I do this, I gotta hold on. I gotta put the new characters. Give me 1 second. I'll ask for your numbers in a second.
Does D&D Beyond, does it automatically add modifiers, or you have to?
Yes.
It automatically does. Yeah, and it's also added the game log as well, which is kind of nice. You can see everyone's rolls.
Yes.
Yeah. How do I because mine right now it's not adding my modifiers.
Really?
It should. If for initiative, it should.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
When
you
you roll,
have to click on
but I
initiative.
have to tap initiative though, right?
Yeah,
you have to
click the
tap
box.
initiative. Yes. You don't tap dexterity. You tap initiative for initiative. You tap exactly. You have to actually click the number. All right, Zunis, what'd you get?
15.
All right, Zior.
I got a 4.
Oh. And
19.
Torrent.
19 for Yago.
I rolled 6.
6. And I'm gonna do. Oh shoot! Hold on. I made another silly mistake. Give me 1 second. Troubles of the first game. I'm gonna ask for those one more time. Let me change one thing here.
Love this music.
Yeah, it's nice.
Fuck some people up. I could just totally see it. The guy just slow-mo, jumping onto the boat,
Yeah.
the rocks kind of leaving, the dirt kind of leaving the back of his foot. Is he yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. So Zunis was 15. 19 was Yagos. Torn was 6, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And Zior was what?
4.
4. Yep. Okay, got it. We're all set this time. And just at that moment, out of nowhere, the sky had clouds in it, kind of as that sunny morning, but it kind of closes up in the area where you are, and there's a pitter-patter of rain, almost like that talk of Karanos has started something. So, as we begin round 1, Yagos is first. Eddie, do you want to put it in the chat? Actually,
Yeah,
we'll
I
go
got
through the first round. We'll go through one at a time because
Okay.
then I like to not share where the bad guys are until that
Yeah.
first round, and then
Okay.
so Yagos, you are up in terms of going first. And so the way this has happened now, I'll just reposition. I'll allow you all to reposition where you think, and you can use either camera if you'd like to pin. I'll try to put this one a little bit closer to the action. But use either one, or you can just, you don't have to. But when you pin it, it will make it larger. So the figures, there's now 3 of them. The main one, they're all kind of spread out. And I'll allow you guys to position yourself anywhere you'd like to be on the ship. If that's good.
Am I already up there?
Sorry?
Am I already close to the front?
Yeah, you're right at the front of the ship right here, and then Legos just went down next to you. You do have 3 other guards with you that are alive.
They're like as big as that ship.
Yeah, and you've got 1 captain. So,
Are we close to land? I mean,
this is the closest to land you are to dock, or you could just keep going. It's
I'd like to be close to the bow, so the dragon head. Because I want to be able to jump onto land if necessary.
Yep. Okay, so this is where Torin is. Yagos, you're right here.
I'm also gonna join. I'm gonna join Torin at the bow and probably give him a little bit of a look like let's get this shit popping.
I mean, the back of the boat is the closest to land, and I guess I want to be there too. If everybody,
this is the front of the boat. You guys you're traveling this way.
I'm sorry, point again.
This is the front of the boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the dragon head.
Well,
or at least I believe, yes, front. And I'm always terrible with naval. So what is the bow? Is the front?
So no, I think the stern is the front, and the bow.
Okay,
is
so
the
this
back,
is the stern
I
thing.
think.
So this is the stern, and then that's the bow. So
and then port and starboard.
Yeah, which I always
Left
get those.
and right.
Yeah, left and right.
Yeah, I don't know shit about these boats. Put me by the dragon head. You feel me?
Right.
Men,
how close is the land actually? Is it jumpable?
You're probably 10 feet away. If you get a good look, if I put this and consult both of your cameras, you see how close you are there. It's almost a 10-foot jump right now.
Yeah,
I mean, like I'm a lion. I can.
Yeah,
I can
that's
jump.
that's easy.
Easy
I'm
jump.
a horse too.
It's like
I can
10 feet.
jump that too. So I mean, I'm
Yeah,
part horse. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump off, man. I don't like being shot at.
You can move at 40 feet.
Yeah, 40.
So
I'm supposed to be at the front of the boat.
Oh, you were at the front. Okay, so you weren't at the back. I thought you were at the over there that time. So then you.
No, I was at the
so it
front
takes
the
a
whole
running
time.
leap. Torin and the 2 Leonids here just galloping across the, and then boom, slow motion. He just goes leaping over,
Get down.
landing on the side. As you land and riding up difficult terrain, of course, you can get to that first one if you want.
Okay.
Is that what you're trying to do? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Take care of business.
Yeah. Wait. All right. 30.
Torn exclaims that it's always fun to see a centaur jump into battle.
Action. All right. I want to. They're within 5 feet.
Yeah, you've closed in on 5 feet. So yeah, you're going for close combat. Then yes, that would be the case.
Okay. I want to attack him with my flail.
Okay. You only give me attack for the flail. So he's this guy. So suddenly he hears the landing, and they're kind of one of the guys shot the bow from over there and killed. Actually, the guy with the bow is in front of you. Just killed the return that jumped onto the boat. And he turns and looks in slow motion, like you don't see eyes through those pitted black golden masks. We see you kind of riding up and rearing up over him as this flail is about to come down on his head.
13.
Should probably know that. I didn't even check. Let's see. 13 for the returned. That will hit. So you crack that flail cracks right into the top of the mask. You hear that gold as it splits a bit. It kind of leaves a nick in it. Definitely carrying the weight through. Give me the damage. Seven bludgeoning damage. Who will take it?
What is it?
It's probably bludgeoning. It's okay. So
yeah, bludgeoning.
As it smashes in the top of his head, like I said, splitting the mask collapses off of his face, and he's not dead, but clearly you rung his bell. And what you've heard about the return, unlike, and I guess this is me giving you a little metagame so as we get used to this world. Unlike in Faerun, where everything is a skeleton or a zombie, these are like people. They can speak. They don't need food or water, but they do need air. So you can still hear him breathing, sucking in the air. As he looks up at you without the mask, this dark gray skin. He has no nose, no eyes. Like the skin is just sunken in, and there's no eyes there, and there's just an opening where the mouth is. And so it's very kind of strange. If this is your first time ever seeing one of the returned, but you can and basically there's a gash in the top of his head now, and that black smoke and the black ichor kind of running down, and you can tell that he's close to going down. I'm sure you're done with your turn, unless there's anything you can do with the bonus action. Okay.
Yep. Hooves.
Oh yeah,
I get the extra. Yeah.
Hooves to the face.
Yeah, pretty much.
What is it? You can do a bonus action with hooves if you charge more
if I
than
travel. It's a charge. If I travel 30 feet.
Okay.
And attack them successfully, I get an extra. Oh shit! I just. Actions. Here we go. Get an extra D4 plus strength. So that roll was a 1 plus my strength is 3, 4. So extra 4.
Extra 4 damage?
Yeah.
Tell me how you kill him with your hooves.
Oh, it's a you know how I said I have these horns?
Uh-huh.
He runs kind of through him, tackles him with the horn, raises him up, and as he drops, just runs straight over him. Just trampling him to death. You just hear this thunderous roar.
It's like, oh, shit.
And
that's so good.
So he goes down, just like you said, crumpled body, head is like busted, and is done. The other figures, the one in like 10 feet away from you, kind of drops back and looks a bit scared. And that one's kind of wearing a heavy cloak. Still under that golden mask, you see its hands kind of do this, and you see like a bit of like electrical energy kind of crackle between the two hands, as the other one is kind of trying to move towards to help with its blade out, because it doesn't have that short bow. I will then move to who's next. Yagos. We're gonna move to Zunis, and then Torin. Actually, all of you are before all the bad guys. So actually, it's Yagos, Zunis, Torin, and then Zior. You guys rolled higher than all of them.
Nice.
So Zunis, this is just kind of immediately after, like, I had my bow ready, and then seeing the one of the guards take one to the neck, I kind of like slid to him, like, oh fuck, trying to like cradle him as he comes down, and realizing like blood's just coming out. I was like, god damn it, and I just kind of push him aside. I ready my bow at that wizard, or that what are they called again? Sorry.
The returned.
the returned what that was in the center there, and I'm gonna shoot
so this is where are you gonna stand back here?
Yeah, I was in the back near the body.
You got more than enough. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. And so I will. Come on, baby. High roller, high roller. Oh no. It's a 15.
15 will hit.
Yeah, baby, it hits. And that will be 8 damage from my longbow. And I'm using like there's still like some kind of fish guts, fish eggs on the tip of the arrow as I let it out.
Yep. So the arrow flies out, and it lands in him. Oh, as he catches that arrow. Did you roll damage yet?
Yeah, 8 damage.
8 damage. Oh, so he's knocking on death's door too. That second one has been hit, and you hit him right in the gut, and he leans forward like he's gonna fall into the water, but he doesn't. He's staggering, and you caught him right as he was running. So now he's like limping.
And
then unless you're done, then we would move to Torin.
That is all I can do. I just kind of kick up my trident bow, and I ready a next arrow.
Nice.
So this was the fallen that had the sword drawn that was running. It wasn't the potential mage.
Not the potential. Did you hit the mage?
That was.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You hit the mage. So the mage takes that. Yeah. So he does not look as hurt by the it's almost like he deflects. He takes the full, but I'm giving you more flair.
Sure.
He kind of like deflects it, and he breaks the arrow, but like a piece of it like jams into like his shoulder. So I'll transfer that damage over.
Take that hit, bitch. Get you.
And then I'll give the other guy that damage back. The guy with the sword kept running. So thank you for that correction. Torin, you are up.
Okay, so I'll since the sword, the sword drawn fallen is kind of coming at us. I think I'll focus my attention on him. And okay. I realized that I have none of my equipment on my character for whatever reason, so it's all good.
Yeah,
because I want to use my claws.
Okay.
But
I mean, I know the basic. As long as you know it's your strength. When you attack, it's your strength plus your level 1, so your proficiency is +2. So your strength is whatever it is. The modifier +2 is what it is to attack. Your hit is going to be your strength plus whatever your weapon is. So if you use a sword, or I think a greatsword, I think it's either D8, probably a D8 unless you use 2 hands. It's a D10.
Okay.
That'll be your damage. Yeah. So
okay. No worries. I'm gonna use my claws either way. I rolled a 7 though.
Okay, so you're running out. If you're on the front of the boat, you would probably only, by the time you leap, you would be able to get to the mage. See that?
Okay.
So you wouldn't be able to get the guy with the sword is kind of way back there.
Gotcha. Okay, well then I will.
Do you still want to do that?
I will try to. Yeah. Well, no. If I'm closer to the mage, I feel like the mage is probably the bigger threat. So if the sword drawn fallen is further away from me, then I'm gonna move closer to the mage.
Okay.
And see if I can get a piece of him.
Oh, absolutely. There you go.
Okay, so I did roll a 7.
Yeah. So he, the mage kind of like as you cut his cloak, as he like almost moves almost inhumanly. You miss on that strike.
I roar in frustration.
You just
what's your strength?
Yeah, you rolled a 7 plus your. Did you add your?
He didn't add any.
No,
no, I didn't.
No, so 7 plus. What's your strength? What's your strength modifier?
Oh, sorry, I'm doing all this on my phone.
Yeah, so you can see it on your sheet, whatever the plus number is. So if it's plus, I can actually look it up if I can pull your character sheet.
I'll pull it up.
I bet it's a +5.
Plus
4,
5.
Plus 5. Probably.
That hits. So yeah, you cheated yourself out of that one. You got it. You hit him. So he dodges, as you swing through the first time, he does dodge, and he gets overly confident. But you continue to swing around as you come all the way around with your claws. You just connect to the body. Go ahead, give me damage. Damage for you. Oh yeah, you said claws, so it's bare hand, which will just be D4 plus your strength modifier, so which is 3, I think. Because if you got a 5, then you should have a strength of 3. So D4 plus 3 is the damage.
God, I just I rolled a 1 plus 4 is 5 damage total.
5 damage. So you give him a good. You cut his arm. He continues to. He's kind of steps back. He's surprised you struck him, but staring into that blank mask, doesn't waver too much. He's still alive and kicking. Keep getting my windows moved around here so I can give him some damage.
Are you not entertained?
Exactly. So that was, you said 5, and so yeah, he still looks better than, he still looks like he's in fighting shape, but you're definitely scoring some blows to him. Torin, if you are done, then we will move to Zior, and Zior,
I'm
you
done.
are last.
So I'm gonna go ahead and this is giving me Lion King vibes all day right now. So Zior hops off the boat, and he is going to. I'm basically going to come right up next to right next to Thorin, and I'm going to employ my daunting roar towards the mage. Basically, what that does is any creature within 10 feet that can hear me must succeed on a wisdom saving throw DC 12 or become frightened of me until my next turn. Until the end of my next turn.
Okay, what kind of save do I need to make?
Wisdom saving.
Wisdom save. Let's see. Okay.
And does that? I don't know if it includes the other person, the other fighter or not.
Oh, what spell are you doing again?
It's called Daunting Roar. It's
Daunting
one
Roar.
of my. It's
Got
like
it.
I guess an intimidation tactic.
Oh, I got a nat 1. All right, you got it. What does it do to me?
So you are frightened of me until the end of my next turn.
Got it. So suddenly another Leonin shows up. Here's the roar goes out, and as he does, he kind of stops, frozen in his tracks, and he starts to kind of slowly back away as the rain starts to come down. As the rain is coming down, it's starting to get heavier. Can I get a perception check from everyone?
Come on. What we got?
Yo, D&D Beyond is out here trying to get you, boy. Like, what the fuck, yo? Come on, son. I rolled single digits every time outside of like the first one.
Roll your dice then, man. If you feel like you're getting you don't have to by any means.
Torin rolls a 7 for perception.
I'm
I'm having the same thing with D&D.
Yeah, bro. They stingy with these rolls. You feel me? Let me go get my.
Yeah.
So it's pouring. Who got the highest perception?
I got 15.
15.
I got 8.
And who got 18?
8.
8. Okay.
Yako's got 8.
Got it. So Yagos, you got the first time we got a perception, you were the highest because you saw this happen. I'm gonna give you an inspiration point. You can save on your sheet. There's a place to put inspiration. Sorry, Zunos, is it?
Zunis.
Zunis, you are going to get an inspiration point as well.
Yeah.
And Zunis, what you see as you look up as the sky crackles for a second, you see a dark figure looming, and with 2 stars suddenly appear to be eyes staring down on you. And with the staff in one hand, you can tell the wind creating part of his beard, his dark skin blending in with the sky, because almost like the sun never came up. You see Karanos staring down over the battle, smiling.
I'm like, oh shit.
Just for a moment. It's like a
up.
glimpse. It's there, and then he's gone. And then I also didn't get damage on. Oh no, I got put in fear. That was all it was, right?
Yeah. So I guess my question is does that take my action or do I still get an attack?
You did a spell or you did a cantrip?
It's just a oh, I guess it's a bonus action.
Is it a bonus action? That's what I want to know. It's a bonus action?
Yeah. Okay. So then I still get an attack.
You still get your attack, but the problem is you are too far with the jumping off and the climbing.
Right.
You're behind. The only person with that, it was a stretch to get the paladin there, so you're out of reach.
Yeah, that's fine.
Actually, tell me, what is your movement? Is it 30 feet
30.
or is it 40 feet? 35. So 35 puts you there. I still think it puts you out of 5 feet out of the range you need to attack him. So
yeah, that's fine.
I'm not going to give you that. Yep. Okay, so then now what ends up happening is the last drifter he's able to just close the distance and jump in front of his master. Coming face to face with Torn, this returned pulls a kind of bronzed gladius style short sword blade or scimitar, kind of curved, and attacks. 14. Now you said you weren't equipped, so which I don't think you wouldn't have had time to, unless you were wearing your breastplate. Which
my armor class shows a 16, so I mean that would be a miss.
Okay, then he misses. Yep. You also
I don't think I've got any equipment.
You don't have your shield on, so it's just your 16.
Actually, I do have an armor of gleaming breastplate on. I do have that on.
So, and then I can't imagine you didn't, unless you just had to go. You did say you went with your claws, so I'm gonna assume you don't have your shield. So you're just 16. So yeah,
I didn't grab my shield.
He still misses, and so as he goes swinging in, frustrated, like kind of overextending his arm as he steps through, he scores nothing. The men on the boat are kind of cheering you all on, and some of them, they decide to kind of stay their ground to protect the ship. The captain is commanding them, and they are throwing spears at the two figures over there. So what I'm going to do is, instead of like having them affect your battle, you have to remember this for round 2. There are four guys fighting with spears. You can, on one person's turn, you can call out the help. Say, as part of like the cinematics, that's they're throwing spears, and because that's helping you make your attack, you can choose to take advantage. Does that make sense? All right, and so the wizard character, standing near you, he actually is going to step back, and that will incur an opportunity of attack, but he's trying to get some distance. And as he steps away from you, he says, and a lightning bolt just flies out of the sky, striking towards Torin. That is a 16 plus 5, so that will... actually, no, I'm sorry. That is a 16 plus 4. I still think that will hit. Doing 2d8 plus 2 damage. 10 damage lightning bolt strikes.
Oh, dang.
Are you still up? Hopefully.
That's getting tight.
I'm at 2.
Ooh. So,
No.
So the lightning strikes, and it slams into Torin, throwing him off his feet for a second. He staggers, but his cat-like reflexes, he's able to, he doesn't even fall. He doesn't even hit the ground, but he kind of like staggers, and he swings around and clashes swords with the other return, and his blade, blades bite, and they kind of lean into each other, mask to lion face, as we start round 2. There's still just 2 of them left. But yes, that whoever that sorcerer is a bit scary. Needs to be taken down. Starting at the top, Yagos.
Come on,
Y'all
Yagos.
go. Let's put that
Fucking
hook in his
bulldoze
face,
him.
bruh.
Come on.
How close am I to the wizard?
You can move. You could gallop all the way over to him easily.
Just stomp his ass out real quick.
You would just leap down. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. And
This music is epic, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't waste it. Don't waste
So many
it.
good
Don't-
songs. Yeah, man.
Don't waste this moment.
15 and 2, 17.
17. That will hit.
And let's see. 8. 4. 7 damage.
7 damage.
Mhm.
You'll take that 7, and you hit him with the flail again, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you clash into him, he kind of like blocks with his hands, and you can tell that like he's using kind of like that magical energy to try to resist, and but he's still taking it. Another 7 slams into him, and he gets blown back. Boom! It slams into like the rocks, the pieces of the wall kind of slowly fly off. He staggers. You see a bit of like that black smoke starting to ooze out of his face.
And he
He
gets
brings
the
his
hook.
hands up. All right, moves.
2, 5.
5 to hit.
5. Oh.
You actually have to strike. With
Oh
those.
yeah, it's a roll. My bad, my bad.
We'll keep the damage at 5 if you hit, but you got to strike.
Oh, plus 5. 20.
Oh,
25. It's natural 20.
Okay.
Stop it. Let's
Wait,
go.
it's a nat 20.
It's a nat 20 plus 5. Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, you hit him. Go ahead.
And then
Double.
that was the 5 after it, right?
So you hit 5, so you can
Double your damage, right?
we normally do so for today. You can either choose. Here's the thing: we'll have to decide. How do you guys want to play crits? By the book, 5th edition is you roll damage. You roll the dice twice, and you add your strength.
Yeah.
Or do
That's
you want to just double damage? Whatever you decide, that's what we're going to stick with for the course of the game.
I'm down for double.
Okay, double it is. That means so 5. He takes.
I mean,
10.
no, not for the whole group. I mean, we can vote for the group. I'm just saying. For
Oh,
me.
gotcha.
I would say roll 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because yeah.
So then, Ron, roll your second die, and then, but you don't add the strength again. You just double the dice. Does that make sense? So when you do damage, like your damage might be 1d8 plus 3. It's going
Right.
to be 2d8 plus 3, not 2d8 plus 6.
Plus 6. Gotcha. 3.
3. All right, so you
3
got
more.
5, 6, 7, 8. And then what's your strength? So it's 11 more damage.
Yep.
So he...
Nice.
You just turn, and the holes just, boom, kick him in the chest, pin him back to the wall again, and he can't seem to get that blast off. You can hear his chest is kind of caved in, but being almost a dead that dead form, he's still standing there, looking for. He may even kind of be looking around to try to escape as you have him pinned against that wall there. You're trying to see that's where you guys are.
Love that fucking thing.
Nice.
It's so good.
Yagos, you got him there. It is now Zunis's turn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use the shipmates. I'm yelling at them like, you. You know, I'm kind of pointing in the direction with my bow to that mage.
Yep.
Fire on my command, or at the counter.
Yep.
And I fire, and I shoot out my arrow. Come on! Oh, it's so close. It's a 21 to hit.
Well, it still definitely hits, and you know you get advantage because you described the guys helping you.
Yeah.
So there you're using
I
basically
mean,
you're using a help action. But 21, I mean that does it. So you don't even.
I think the other one is good. Thank God. The other one was a 12.
So the arrows start flying and the javelins start going.
No, God damn it! I only got a 4 damage.
4 damage total. So
From me.
The rest of them, the javelins are just breaking around, pinning him in place. Slow motion as Yagos is just reeling off of kicking him, and then your arrow strikes him, boom, right in the throat. 4.
Nice.
Still alive, and you can tell that he's running to jump into the water, and he's crackling. His hands are crackling, but he's moving towards the ledge. It's like where
Finish him, Torn!
Torin, you're up.
Okay, am I pinned by the other fallen? Did he come at me?
Yes, you can move away from him. Torin, did I give you your opportunity of attack?
No.
You can give me a claw strike right now, because that was when he was close. When the wizard stepped away.
Yeah.
You had an opportunity.
Opportunity of attack. Okay, so
It's gonna be like a late. He's gonna feel the cut like it's gonna open up like late.
It's like what the
fuck this happened?
Where? And that's funny because I saw it as a cat. Sometimes like they like or dogs they bite you. You're just like, oh shit, I'm cut. I'm bleeding.
all right, so let's see
So
here.
roll your d20, and you're +4 actually for your claws.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And guys, this is the last scene tonight, so we'll be closing up soon. After this, we'll kind of wind things down.
Is this the cat I have pinned still?
Excuse me?
Yeah. This is for the sorcerer.
And somebody's close to me, making the attack.
No,
this is from before.
This is a retroactive
Delayed
attack.
claw attack.
Yeah. So
this is that go-go gadget paw. On that.
I was like, what the fuck?
Go gadget.
Well, my go-go gadget paw, I think, is gonna fail here. I rolled to hit. I rolled a 3 + 4 is 7.
Oh yeah, dang.
Dang, yeah. No luck there on that strike as you tried to hit him.
Okay, but that wasn't my main action, correct? That was just
no.
my
So now
reaction to his moving.
Now you're back to your full turn.
Okay.
Out.
Okay. So, being pinned by that thing, I decide like I still want a piece of that guy that struck me with lightning, and I kind of look up to the sky, as I did perceive Terranos' visage in the stormy sky, and I give my toothiest, most intimidating cat grin that I can muster with the little strength that I have left, and I leap at this mage that is trying to escape us, and here we go again. I'm gonna come at him with my claws. Let's hope this hits this time. So okay, sweet. I rolled an 18 + 4 is 22.
Ooh, 22. That will hit.
Okay, and then let's go damage. 4 + 2 is 6.
6 damage. All right, let me see.
That's the guard in front.
That's the guard, yep. And so how do you finish him off?
Oh, papa.
So I kind of want to get dirty with this one. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Go for
I know
it.
I said I was gonna go with my claws,
Nice.
but I want to taste this guy. So I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna pin him down.
I'm glad we got that recorded.
That's the statement of the night.
I'm gonna rip his throat out.
Yeah,
so I pin him down as best I can, and I just dig into his neck with my teeth, and I rip out his air pipe, his windpipe.
So you guys see behind me? That's what they look like without their mask. Just no features.
Yeah.
Okay, they've lost all the features of who they were. And so as you rip his throat out, you see all that black coming out and smoke. and it doesn't taste good. But
Yeah.
the victory does.
Yeah.
It's almost metallic and tastes of death, reeks of death, but the victory is good.
I spit out all the black ichor that I got into my mouth, and then I look up at the sky once more and I roar with, again with my waning strength.
So you guys are feeling like, I mean, that literally was the taste of victory, and seeing that the sorcerer and all his diabolicalness knows that he's doomed. He's seeing it out. It's also the reason why he's rather jump into the sea than to face death here. And then who's it's Zior, right?
Mm-hmm. I start to. So he's still intimidated. So question for you, Mal, because he's still intimidated by me.
Yeah. So fear just means I can't move towards you and I can't attack you specifically.
So does that mean that I have advantage with this attack or not?
I don't think you have advantage. I just don't think that I can attack you, and I can't move. I can't move towards you willingly. I can't target you willingly. And so yeah, I'm just kind of standoffish, just trying to get away.
Okay. So I think at this juncture, I start to kind of slowly like creep towards him, and I'm like snarling in the process, and then I get up to him. I'm gonna go with my scimitar. I'm gonna try and slice this mug up.
Nice. The rain is pouring right now as you come in with the scimitar. Your mane is all wet and shaggy.
So 13.
13. So as you land the strike, if you all look back, you can see the men like kind of like just like reveling in it. Give me the damage.
Come on, finish him.
5 damage.
How do you? He doesn't do it. He takes the 5.
Oh.
Dang.
I was thinking of that. Yeah. So you cut him, and he catches the blade, and like it goes. You stick him, and he turns to you because now he can't jump off the edge, and he's just like, and he kind of like grabs you, and he's like pushing the blade in, but holding onto your arm, holding one of those tats, and then his hands start to light up, and he goes to bolt you.
Oh no!
Oh man!
Oh man! 12. Does that hit?
Wait.
It's 12 on. It's on Zior.
I think it's like 12 right on.
Actually no, because I have fear until I can't attack you, right? So I can't. So I'd have to cast it on somebody else. But so it would be 12 on. I mean, it would be more fun story wise to try to strike you.
It doesn't hit anyway. I'm a 15.
Yeah. So he tries, and it's like it short circuits. It's like it doesn't work. And if he had a face, if he had emotion, you would be able to see that he feels completely hopeless. And so he pulls against your blade, especially because he's fearful for you, rips away and leaps into the water. Now he's still there, like just in the surface. And the men are like, they're throwing javelins at him. They're splashing into the dark water. And Yagos, you're up.
Feels like it's Zunis time. This one.
On, baby.
Take that deep dive, bro.
Yeah.
Can you tread water with the big ass hooves, bro?
Nah, man. How far away are they from me now?
He's about 15 feet away.
50?
15.
Oh, 15. How can I tell how deep the water is?
You cannot. He does get I won't make it a disadvantage, but he'll get a bonus to his armor class for trying to hit him under the water.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna actually throw a javelin at him.
Zio, I wanted you to finish him, it didn't do it all.
I know it wasn't in the cards. Oh man, I wanted that so bad, bro. So bad.
$14.
14. You hear splash, and you see the figure still like moving. For a second, he comes up, his cloak bobbing, and then he tries to kind of dive down again. As you miss, you can't use your hooves unless you're jumping in after him. Otherwise, I will now move to Zunis.
I am about, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, like kind of 30 feet.
Yep, it's on you.
All right, so I'm going to attack with my... I'm going to actually leap, jump off to try
I'm gonna camera follow this.
With my trident. And I tell them to... Oh, yeah, I just go for it. Here we go. Fuck it.
So you're like literally jeeping off, trident coming down into the water to stab him, right?
No.
Oh no. Okay.
14.
14.
Good.
Come on.
Well, here's the thing. That does hit. Okay, I gave him a bonus to his AC but you know what? I'll count it because it's melee trying to hit him. But you're coming down on him into the water in a melee. That strikes. Go ahead and give me damage.
Gonna get.
Come on, Eddie.
I hit the wrong button there. Hold on. Pearson. It is. There we go.
What you got?
It is 10 damage.
How do you do it? Describe the scene for me. Let's in all its glory.
Yeah. So just it's just like if you're facing the camera, from looking up as I'm jumping over, you can see my gills, or what no one else can see, but in the slits of my clothing, you can see the gills kind of flaring as I'm jumping with my trident coming down, and I just strike right in the center of his chest and kind of push him down into the water, and just drive him down towards the bottom of the...
Of course, Spotify died on me during that awesome...
Oh, no!
Fucking froze up and died. But yeah, so but almost like it's like the music cuts out and it's just boom, and it's just like the water... And it's just you and him in that quiet moment, under the water, and his
as he's like gasping for air, as I'm just like taking it in with my gills, like,
and then he
just breathing normally.
And then so when you pull him out, kind of like floats there. I don't know if you retrieve the body or just let him kind of disappear into the abyss.
I retrieved the body.
So you bring him back up. It's over. As you guys are looking off the... You guys are worth a little bit more than 50 gold, says Captain Othanis. So I imagine unless you guys say otherwise, you guys end up returning to the ship. You've got the one body of... the other guy fell over after he was killed, after his throat was ripped out. But you got the leader and so as you guys are all standing here now, what... You guys, I'll turn it back over to you all. So they're at the body of the character that whoever that was that leaped onto the boat, and then those that were, at least one of the bodies of that who was pursuing him, this sorcerer. And suddenly, as that happens, it's almost like the clouds begin to part. The rain begins to let up, and as the clouds part, of course, the sun comes out, and there's kind of a morning glow, almost like silence, and all is well. And in the distance, like it's still just a silhouette in the morning sun of this two rocky almost like a crevice, and you know that as you go through that area, you'll be on the other side of his Melitis. But there are these huge statues of guards with their spears and their shields, and you're still a little bit away, but about in another mile, you'll be floating past those grand figures. But before you even get there, bigger questions to be had. What has happened here? I'll turn it over to you all.
Yeah, Zunis just gets back on the boat and kind of throws the body onto the deck, and says, "Well, let's see what these fallen were searching for."
Yeah, Zior grabs one of the gold like faceplates and just tries to kind of make sense of it. You know, like he's kind of looking at it like, you know, this is something I've never seen before. You know, and he even, you know, offers to hand it to someone else to see if they have any insight or anything.
Okay.
I take it from his hand, wondering the exact same thing. Like, what was the mystical hold on this? Not having any idea, not having any clue to where it came from or what it stands for or who's behind it.
Okay.
I have a good history check if need
Can
be.
I do this? I'm sorry, guys, and I apologize. I didn't give anybody a break during this entire time. These are like the last 10 minutes, but I'm gonna do a quick like couple minutes to set up the final stuff that I need just to close the game out. So if you guys need a couple minutes, you need to run and take a quick piss or whatever. Let's take a quick break. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. It will not be super long.
shit.
To mute Eddie. All right. I'm ready. How the prints coming? Some good stuff, Eddie? All right. Sorry, I just needed a quick second there. Make sure my notes were right. Guys should be able to still hear sound. Also, those things were starting to slow down, so I killed those extra cameras. Sometimes that help freeze up some bandwidth. Since we're all in story mode here. Okay. So there you are, standing over the dead. And I heard several things. Let's go around again. What are we doing? Kind of give me the gist.
So once Zunis gets back on board with the mage, and we have kind of both of these bodies, and to me they're super foreign, right? Like I have no experience with the Returned. I don't even know that they're called the Returned at this point.
Okay.
And so I pick up the gold plated.
I'm gonna assume that it's maybe from Oreskos. If you've never been into the city, you might not have ever heard of them. Yeah, so I'll let that stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is another like kind of note about Nylea, is that like she actually loathes the city. Like she loathes the idea of pushing forward technology because it further disrupts the balance of nature. So in a lot of ways, like I don't know, like it's almost like I've lived in like an indigenous tribe my entire life, and I'm being introduced to this grander life, I guess, or a completely different perspective on how to live, essentially.
Absolutely.
And so I pick up this gold mask, and really I'm just trying to make sense of it. Like I recognize the metal, but I can't make out any of the markings on the inside of it, and I'm just trying to piece it all together. And so I hand it to Yagos, and Yagos take it away.
So just because I'm going to go off of what I hear, you pick up the mask. The minute you're touching the mask of the one who jumped that has the arrows in his back, or either, it doesn't matter. Which mask did you pick up?
I picked up the mask from the guy who had the arrows in his back. The first one that died, that got shot down.
Yep. And so for a moment, as you're holding that mask, all the sounds around you turn to quiet, and then whispers. And all the colors begin to drain from the world around you, turning everything into shades of gray. Everything except for the gleaming golden mask. And those whispers begin to get louder and louder into a crescendo. Then seconds later, quiet as everything returns to normal. Give me an intelligence check.
Oh, 0. Fuck me, dude. For reals? This could go really badly.
Here we go.
Hold on. All right. Intelligence. You're not gonna fucking believe what just happened.
What you got?
Show it.
Nice. Is it a 20?
I got a nat 20, bro.
Nice.
20, man. A fucking nat 20.
I was talking shit about D&D and Beyond, and they came through for me.
So this is interesting. Maybe this is something divine happens, because coming from someone who doesn't even know what the Returned are, everyone knows about Erebos. Everyone knows about he is the god of death. Even in your pride, you would have known about Theros, the god who ushers those dead across. And then maybe you've heard a tale. Maybe it was around a campfire, but you remember Phoenix, and suddenly Phoenix comes to you, and you don't even know much about him, but you know that this is an omen of Phoenix. And this mask, this being, this dead here, who's now returned dead, was touched by Phoenix. This is an omen from that god. You can keep that to yourself. You can ask someone else who might know more about him. But that is what you know. You recognize it as him. The meaning is still unclear. Yeah, and there seems to be nothing supernatural about the mask, but what you do see as you look at it a little bit further inside the hollowed out section of it, there's all these scrawlings, all these weird glyphs, unlike anything you've ever seen. But only one thing you can make out. One word seems to be very clear. It's almost in common. Kia, Khea. Kia, followed by just a line of glyphs. And it seems, could be a name, it could be a place. Who knows? I don't know. Now you can decide whether you share that. I mean, you all heard it, but do you share this, Zior, willingly?
I think I'm still a little bit in shock right now.
Okay.
So I think I'm still just trying to process like what's happening and like what am I experiencing, because this is so foreign.
Yeah.
Like this is such a foreign experience. So no, I don't share this.
So the rest of you, I will say, still see him kind of, you can see the way he pauses, because you guys don't experience any of that. None of the world does any of that stuff, doesn't get gray, but he just locks up and stands there for like a good 5 seconds before kind of breaking out of it. So you could tell something was a little off.
I pick up the mask of the mage that I love, the body that I threw on the deck.
So when you pick up the mask, it seems to be just a mask.
I kind of look at it, look at Terry or
Zior. Mm-hmm.
And I kind of flip it in my hand, and
you can
nothing happens.
You can tell that the mask is itself is worth maybe its weight in gold. So it's definitely valuable.
I'll take it.
Do you look over the body at all other than the mask?
Yeah, I'll investigate the corpse, see if there's anything.
So on the corpse, you find a little pouch containing about 20 silver pieces.
Okay.
And then there is a broken piece of pottery in that little bag as well. Can you give me an intelligence check you can do Arcana or Religion.
Arcana or Religion. I can go either or. Come on, give me a good roll. All right, I'll take that. That's 14.
Okay. So you recognize, Zunis, you recognize this to be ostraka, or a shard of a shard known as an ostraka. It is a shard from a clay funerary mask that they break up, and this is used as some form of currency in the underworld. People like use this like gold. And so you've got one little shard of it, this kind of pottery broken. And when you turn it over on the hollow, the side of it that was probably part of the mask on the top, on the back side of that piece, you see scratched into it a message that says in common, "Silence the heretic, Varius. His secrets must remain dead." That's what you see. That's what you have, Zunis. Haven't heard from, what's Yagos or Torin doing at this moment as the others are investigating? Do you see Zior kind of being awkward, and then you see Zunis just kind of collecting information. The guards are kind of standing around. The captain's been a bit quiet, kind of like looking at you. So, what is it? What do you think was going on here? I don't think they were pirates. So we're probably not getting a bonus.
So Torin is still a little dazed from the battle. He's barely clinging to consciousness. So he did perceive Zior's change in demeanor, but he as a Leonin, he respects the the silence. So he notes the reaction, but doesn't speak of it further. And frankly, he's just again trying to take in the situation and catch his breath.
Okay. So how about Yagos? And so as we're kind of closing things out here, no one has kind of questioned Zior. It doesn't seem like Zunis. Do you want to do anything with the information that you have?
I will after looking at the mask and seeing what I found, but not responding the same way that he did. I go over to him. Hey, is everything all right? Hey, what's going on? And I kind of shake him and try to get him out of his state.
And like when you come over to me, like I drop the mask because like for me that was a crazy experience. And I'm just confused.
So what happened? We're in another place. What?
Can I get a perception check from everyone? Or actually, no rolls. Who has the highest natural perception? Without rolling, it's on the. If you look at your character sheet, it should be on the left-hand side. Halfway down the sheet, you'll see natural numbers. Or
I have 3 different types.
There's 3 different. But there's one for investigation, one for perception. I want perception.
Perception.
Yeah, so you're passive.
Passive, natural, passive perception. Yeah.
Just a 10 for me.
11. Okay.
Mine's 12.
12. Okay. So it is Torin who looks down, and as the mask goes glink against the ground, you see all those scrawlings inside, and you also see the marking that says Kia. And can you give me what do you call it? Insight check.
So passive or okay, we're doing a check.
You're gonna roll. Now just you are gonna give me the insight. Yeah.
Okay, bear with me. All right. Insight. 14 plus 2, 16.
16. Wow, you just hit it. Like literally on the nose. And so you bend down and look a little bit closer at it. You're able to decipher the simplest part. One of the, maybe like part of the scrawlings or some symbols you've seen before in your travels, but you're able to put it together and you see it says, hid from eyes of mortals and gods lies whither, and then it's like, so hid from eyes of mortals and gods. You get that part. And then the next
hid
part
from eyes of mortals and gods. Okay.
And you get lies whither, lies like lies down, like lies whither in Orestes rot. Orestes seems to be a name. And
the last word was rot?
Rot. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. So now that I've seen this, I do feel that I'm going to bring this information out to everyone else. So I kind of share what I perceived, and then I look to Zior, and this time instead of respecting his silence, I do ask, what did you perceive? What happened? Does this add any extra meaning to what you saw or felt?
Yeah, I mean, it was like this. There was just this darkness that came over me, and in fact, everything around me was dying and just decaying. And as I kind of came to, and I was hearing all of these crazy voices in my head, I don't know what language it was, but it was very dark and to me felt deeply dark and almost demonic. And and then they all of a sudden they just stopped. And I looked into the mask, and the only word that I could read was Kia.
And you also understood that this was connected to Phoenix.
That this is an omen connected to Phoenix.
Phoenix, says the captain. The god, the trickster god, this is not good. Bad omen is what that is. And Kia, I know that name. She's an oracle, lives on the outskirts of Melitus. You could go through the city. When you leave on the other side, when you touch down on the earth, she lives in a 2-story tower. Strange woman, great beauty though. She may have the answer.
Captain, does the name Orestes mean anything to you? Or if I remember that right.
Orestes. Unfortunately, no. That doesn't ring a bell. And as you're all standing there, I don't want to cut anybody else. Is there anything anyone wants to share as you're all thinking this through? Okay. And at that moment, you come around the bend and you're closer now. You are sailing through between those grand statues as you sail into the port of Melitus. In all of its grand glory, you can see as you kind of pass through, you're starting to see the ships in the bay, large ships, and the beauty of this beautiful city built into the mountainside. Columns everywhere and great forums. And the color scheme of Melitus is kind of like a white and blue. So all of the guards wear those blue capes. A lot of the rooftops, the shingles are blue. And it's a beautiful country. The birds fly by. It's a clear, beautiful day. And as we kind of pull away from the boat, any last remarks or just last maybe sentiments, maybe even just what your character's thinking as we see a shot of you all kind of standing there together. I'd also like to know, maybe what you could share is like why this group may stick together for this. Are they interested enough? If so, what are they thinking as we are leaving them or sharing with each other?
I'm back on the front of the boat, sharpening my weapons, looking to the future, still wondering what am I doing here? Why has my path brought me into this group? Looking back at each of them, kind of nodding we've been in battle. We've had that chance to clash iron against iron, and we've come out victorious. So there is just the wondering of what's to come next.
I think for me, I think this was like a defining moment for me in the sense that everything that I saw in that moment after picking up that mask, in that moment, there was no balance. It was all darkness. There was no light. And that goes against pretty much everything that I've been taught to believe. And so for me, I think this could potentially turn into my crusade, but definitely I feel like I am being called to investigate this further and to do what I can to prevent this from actually reality.
Okay.
So I guess I'm standing there still a little shook, but resolved at the same time to knowing kind of what I want to do moving forward, given all that's happened so far.
Excellent.
So Torin's interest has been completely piqued by this.
and the fact that it is painted with darkness and dark magic is tugging to his sense of duty as a paladin to fight. So as his sense of duty kind of takes over, he also speaks to the group, mainly looking to Zior as his fellow Leonin, but also addressing everyone else. We need to find out who this Kia is and get a little more information on what these creatures were looking for and why we have this sense of foreboding about what might come to pass. So I, for one, am going to find out. Feel free to join me if you like.
Awesome. So is y'all?
No, I after Torrin, says what he says, I look at Torrin and I basically affirm everything that he just said.
Nice. And so, as you all confirm, they're standing on the deck. We kind of push away, peel off, catch one of the birds, and ride it off into the light of the sun, and slowly fade to black. And there, as all of your credits run on our first episode, there is then just a brief stop, just a brief moment. And we're somewhere else in a dark, in that starry space. And in that space, we see the stars forming to that figure we see behind you. His golden mask, his eyes, 2 red stars. As we kind of push in on him, he smiles. He looks. Varius, you failed me. But there is another way. There's always another way. And then just burst into stars, crash to black. End of tonight's episode. Thank you all for playing Theros episode
so
1.
So fucked up, dude. I love that. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. I love the face changes and all
Yes,
that.
the mini faces of Malcolm. I tried to get a screenshot of all of those.
The imagery tonight is awesome, man.
Thanks, man. It's all Theros is all about imagery, so like that's gonna be my goal in all of it, is to convey, because the whole goal is to break the heavy imagery of medieval that we're all used to, which is essentially roads and taverns and
it's so refreshing to have a different environment.
Yeah, so
great.
That was great. You guys are great. Just a little taste, and by no means is this. Another thing I'll tell you is that this is not meant to be. Just because you found this mask, it doesn't mean that this is like the grand story that I have planned for it. When you get into the city, you guys might, if you want to spend several episodes, wandering around Melitus, you can. There is really, at this point, you don't have any urging rush to kind of jump into or keep the story going. But you do have these masks now, and they do have something going on with them, and you do at least know who to talk to when you're prepared to go see her. Because remember, I'm just making it very clear that this is truly built to be open world. And so I'm excited to see what you guys do with it. So good game.
So excited.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Stop my recording. Thanks for anybody who's going to be watching on YouTube. Good stuff. Check you guys next time.